What's up, YouTube? This evening I'm going to talk about my 13th tattoo. Yeah, it says, always report and fire all bad mentors. And I'm going to tell you all the reason and story behind it. First off, when I used to be under my mom's guardianship because of my disability, she weirdly mistreated me in indescribable ways. And I remember sometimes in the mornings I would be trying to freshen up, and as mom knew I was busy, she would demand me to do her personal favors in unprovoking, loud, and verbally aggressive and abusive manners. And as I would try and get busy in my morning routine, she would demand me to do her favors in unprovoking, loud, and verbally aggressive and abusive manners. And sometimes I would be trying to fix my breakfast, and she would personally, insistingly, physically get too close for comfort, demanding me to hand her my food in unprovoking, loud, and verbally aggressive and abusive manners, like I didn't know how to fix my food. And sometimes, because I would choose to eat my oatmeal dry, she would personally, insistingly, physically get too close for comfort, demanding me to hand her my food in unprovoking, loud, and verbally aggressive and abusive manners. And sometimes she would verbally abuse me just because of the way I wanted to eat my own food. And I had a mentor named Cody Warmouth, and as he witnessed the way she was treating me, he would say and do things to try to threaten and bully and intimidate and manipulate me to not report it, by saying that I would have to go to a group home if I reported her for mistreating me. And this is a big 7.5 foot tall muscular dude and all, and he would stand right over top of me and my mom's house. And he would just say, if I reported my mom for mistreating me, that I would have to go to a group home. And he would say, if I decided I didn't want to be with her anymore, that I'd have to go to a group home. And he said, if she decided she didn't want me anymore, that I'd have to go to a group home. And he would try to say, if something happened to her and I wasn't my own guardian, that I'd have to go to a group home. And he tried to personally lecture me how to treat my mom. And then he tried to personally lecture me about how to treat my dad. And then he personally lectured me more about my dad's side of the family. And and he and then one time when I mentioned to him about me being bothered by me and mom's problems, he mentioned some weird shit by saying, "What would I do if somebody else on the street chose to bother me?" And he said he hopes I wouldn't get mentally aggressive with someone else for trying to bother me. And then he tried to say, if I didn't want to take care of my mom, that I'd have to go to a group home. And then one time he personally lectured me about me not getting my mom's pills for her just because she made me mad. And then one time I told him a story about one of my cousins in Arizona who had never decided to associate with his mom because she abandoned him and talked crap about his wife, like his wife was a bad guy. And then he tried to say, regardless of what my cousin's mom did wrong, that was wrong for him to never associate with her. And then he tried to speak out against my First and Second Amendment rights and etc. and all. Uh, yeah, mainly about some YouTube videos I had before with like sexual speech, just joking around and stuff. And what else too? And then I remember I had filed a complaint against my mother to Judge Dotson for her verbally abusing me, but I wasn't very detailed in the complaint about what was going on, nor did I explain what all I wanted done about it and whatnot, and I did not explain about what all I was capable of doing for myself. It, and I petitioned for my own guardianship, which opened up all these cans of worms. And then, in the middle of my court case regarding me having a BB gun in my YouTube videos of the sexual speech, this social worker named Holly Cole and this lawyer named Janet Staten, they try to twist things and intimidate me in that regard too. Yeah, but as far as the way I handled the complaint poorly that I filed against my mom to Judge Dotson, maybe I handled it poorly because I was intimidated to death by Cody Warmouth. Yeah, and something else too. Of course, the main point of this subject is Cody Warmouth. Yeah, and six ways to describe people like him who gets these disability mentoring jobs. They think they know of something better, or they are trying to make themselves look better, or they're trying to save their job, or they're trying to help protect the abusive parent or guardian for biased reasons, or they might be biased or toxic because you and them and each other's families might have developed personal relationships, or them or their company that they're with and all don't want to have to do the paperwork. And I'll tell you all something else too. With the way that I just told my story right here, I feel like my nigga Antoine Fisher. And yeah, because I know he wrote a book about his life, and there's the movie Antoine Fisher about him with him and Denzel Washington and Yolanda Ross. And speaking of like writing a book about yourself, before I filled out a couple of prompt writing books about my uh, personal life and family history, etc. and all, I I mailed the prompt writing books to Minuteman Press.